In the name of Allah, the compassionate, the merciful, peace be upon you all. Good afternoon, everyone, and you are most welcome in a new session for a free talk with Mr. Khalaf Ahmad Al Habtoor. Our session today is different because it touches something from the humanitarian depth and our social formation, our present, and our future as individuals and as a nation. Our talk today is about the family, which is the symbol formation, but deep in its principles. The family that is described by Mr. Khalaf Ahmad Al Habtoor some days ago, he said marriage and offspring is not a personal issue, but it is a national and social responsibility by which countries are built and sustained. And it is like this: if the family is good, life will be good. And if the family is broken, many things will be broken and will be not curable. Today we will welcome our guests in this important talk. First of all, we would like to welcome Mr. Khalaf Ahmad Al Habtoor, the initiative owner and the owner of the Habtoor, and Sheikh Hamad Al Jarman, the executive director in the human development in Dubai, and he leads the programs for family in the UAE and enable the youth. Also, Mr. Ibrahim At-Tamimi, a consultant, a legal consultant and lawyer in the personal status and family with 25 years of experience in this 45, not 25, 45 years of experience. And we will, you are still young, mashallah. That's why I said 25. And we welcome also with Dr. Saif Rashid Al-Jabri, is a social worker and intellectual, and he has a lot of information about the family and religious dimensions. And we also welcome Sheikh Umayma Al-Qasimi. You are most welcome, and the audience also are most welcome. Before we start, we would like to listen from you also, the followers in the live streaming. If you are here, you can ask the questions during the session, and if you are following us during the live streaming, we will follow your participation on the QR code with the free talk with Khalaf Al Habtoor, KH of the talk, and ask Khalaf Al Habtoor also. I will start with Mr. Khalaf Al Habtoor. What urges you to launch this dialogue about the family today? In the name of Allah, the compassionate, the merciful, peace be upon you all. You are most welcome. This is a blessed session, and we will end up with the good results. And we hope that the message will be delivered to our youth all. We will try by some way. The country, when I say the curator of the country is not the shepherd curator or shepherd, the responsible for the country, he means that the country means like the honesty and dignity of the human being. Everyone has compassion of his country, and we, alhamdulillah, or thanks God, our people are of high morals and ethics and who are interested in the development of the country. We thank Allah for our good leadership who cooperate with the young and old, and everything we present, everything we need, the government does not overlook. Houses, medication, marriage, everything the government provides us. So we have to be back and stand by our government and support it in everything. when the government cannot do everything we ask them to do. They did not overlook anything, and we are able to support our youth people and our families. I do not have anything to add, but we need our youth. But unfortunately, I have grandchildren, but who do not would like to get married, but we try hard to convince them. I will leave the mic for the others to talk. Thank you. I would like to share with you the survey some days ago before the session. Around 350 people participated of different ages from the Gulf countries and the UAE. We asked them in the survey why some people do not want, for example, to get married. The results, they say, 24 people of these people who do not want to get married because of the high cost of marriage, and 17% they pointed out the negative effect of the marriage image in the media, and 12 because they do not have suitable house, and 12 also they say because the dowries are high. I will ask His Excellency Sheikh Al-Mujahid, in the Community Development Authority, how do you follow up these indicators, and do we need any international or social interference or interventions to face these dangers or risks? Peace be upon you all, and peace and blessings be upon his messenger and kill. The Community Development Authority is playing efforts at the level of the UAE and Dubai, and people who are philanthropists like our uncle Khalaf Al Habtoor and the people who are here. The integrity between the private and public sector and the community responsibility is compliance and a right of the country to us. His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, the President of the UAE, declared in 2026 the year of the family. With this declaration, the responsibility of every one of us, government or private or individuals, I say, the title of the year of the family is in our houses. We as sisters and mothers, brothers and fathers, we are all responsible to optimize our responsibility towards this concept, which is the family. So, because the family is the pillar of the country, and it is the source of security for the country, the source of participation, and the compass of development for everyone. So everyone should support it. The Community Development Authority, I do not say to wait for the year of the family. The efforts were in a place many years ago, and the program of Sheikh Hind for the family launched in 2024 was an example at the end of 2023. This program put a group of initiatives under this umbrella to encourage the young people to get married and form a family and stabilize. And many initiatives under this program, one of them is raising awareness, as Abu Rashid said, how we raise awareness of people of the importance of marriage and encourage people to get married. How can we tell them the decision of marriage is a principal thing, not a free personal freedom? It is a national compulsory and duty. This is the concept. I have no options to get married or not. This is a duty for the youth to get married. The initiative started 2023 by the Sheikh Hind program to develop the community. Thank you, Your Excellency. I would like to add to this question. Did you see through the initiatives a good impact for young people to go for marriage? There are, of course, financial impediments, but the first part, any initiative, the success is the indicators and the impact that achieves. 2025 witnessed indicators, high indicators of marriage, and divorce indicators relatively stable in every emirate, but the marriage indicator rose, and the Hind program for family, which is the Dubai weddings, the percent reached 43% of weddings in Dubai, thanks God, through this program. To be part of this program, you can go to a qualification program to get ready, healthy, psychologically, socially, be ready for the marriage. And you will get a complimentary wedding for women and men, parties for 250 persons, supported by the government for everything, and the contributors also in this program. So we encouraged 43 in these programs, in these weddings happened through this program, of course. And we follow up these indicators regularly. Ladies and gentlemen, in every free talk, we do not only discuss, but we insist to make this discussion based on knowledge and facts and reliable indicators or documented indicators. Therefore, I am happy to present some presentation from Al Habtoor Research Center under the title of Family Between the Reality and the Desire, presented by the researcher Khalaf Ahmad, who is a senior researcher in the political unity in the center. The floor is yours, Your Excellency. المعذرة المترجم لا يسمع مصدر الصوت. I cannot hear the speaker, please. المترجم, the translator cannot hear the speaker. Today we talk about an important talk about the family, which is worry the decision makers and the communities, particularly the Arab communities. Of course, without defining the family, it is a pillar of the community to build nations and the countries. If the family is good, all the nations and the countries will be good. And if the family is stable, it has good revenue on the countries. Recently, we noticed that there is a question in the Arab countries that there is a case of the young people to keep away from marriage. Some people who have good jobs and good house, good car, good bank account. When we talk about with them, why do not get married? There are many pretexts talking about by these youth, either the young male and female, as if they do not have any right for their country. So in this presentation, I will present three key questions. The first one, is the marriage crisis a local case or international case supported to our communities, Arab communities? The second question, which is important, why do not the young get married or keep away from marriage? And we should cast light on the UAE. The third question, why do not the young people get married? And the question, I will talk about the repercussions of the keeping away from marriage or getting children. I will talk about the data at the level of the UAE to know the medians, or the means of the marriage. As you see in this figure, it talks about the average, which ranges between 22.8 and 40.8 years. We can see between 23 to 41 years. Some countries are first of 22, which are African countries like Niger, Liberia, Tanzania, Nepal, and the countries that have a remarkable rise in the marriage of the young men. Spain is the first, and they have 41% for the young, and followed by Chile and Holland, then Argentina, and finally Norway. These five models are the same averages, the same countries with the same averages of rise for the first marriage, but this average differs. The international average range between 19 and 39. And this is found in Spain, but 19 is in Niger. This is the average of the international age of marriage. If we look or delve delve deep in the Middle East or the Gulf countries, we see that the Bahrain, they have a rise in the men, which is 29.4 for men, and for ladies 25.9. Qatar, for example, 27.1 for men and for 24.5 for ladies. Kuwait, 28.4 for men and 26.2 for ladies. Saudi Arabia is the first, which is 27.6 for men and 26.3 for men. We go back to the UAE, which reflects a rise in the Middle East countries as a result of the social and economic systems in the country, which affect a lot on the rates of the marriage in the figure. If we shed light on the UAE, we find that the UAE registered the highest rates in the late marriage age at the level of the GCC countries. The average of the male in the UAE, 29.1 for men and 26.8 for the ladies or girls. This is an indicator that indicates that there is a problem or there is a risk in the community or that faces the country or the family. If we delve deeper in the average of the ladies in the UAE, there is a study happened in 2022 talking about the development and the fertility in the Gulf countries. The researcher made a survey on 500 ladies in the Emirates during 2 years, in 205 and 22. These are very surprising results. We noticed that in 2005, 500 get married to 2015, and it get back to, so ladies with under 20 retreated to 5%, and from 20 to 25 in 2005 it was 40%. They used to get married between 20 and 24, and in 22 the rise rose, reaching 50%. Therefore, there is an indicator or a types showing that there is a rise in the marriage between the ladies in the UAE, and this affects a lot on the marriage rates, which we will see in this figure. This figure shows clearly the marriage contract registered in the UAE, in the 7 Emirates, according to the data that we took from the Federal of Competition and Consensus or Statistics Department. If we Emirati men and women, we see that there is a reduction between 2016 to 2019. In 2016, the contracts reached 7,095 registered contracts at the level of the UAE. This number started to decrease to 6,875 in 2019. And there is a note in 2020, which is during COVID-19, registered the highest marriage rates by 3,817 contract registered. During the lockdown, during COVID-19, the cost of marriage and weddings and dowries was less, so people are encouraged to get married because they did not make weddings, and the UAE participated and supported, like for example the digital marriage. And the contract marriage used to be registered online without going to the court or to the Ministry of Justice to register the contract. From 2021 to 24, there is a retreat, but the rate increased in 2023 due to the intervention of the country and the programs by the political, as the political leadership realized that there is a problem with the youth. The most dangerous indicator that shows us that the percentage of marriage or fertility of marriage in the UAE, which is a demographic indicator, because the rate of the children that the lady can give during her health. We talk about 15 to 49. This is the fertility period for the ladies, which have a good rate of fertility and getting children. In 1990, the fertility was 4.5 in the UAE, and which is a big number according to the rates, because there is a population increase. And in 1920, there was an increase. We found that the diagram retreated remarkably, reaching in 2025 that the fertility rate reached 1.43%, which is a risky number. Why? Because the average of replacement by the UN, that the community renews itself and a generation submits to its follower, it is 2.1 of fertility. Therefore, 1.34, we are in a risk or a high risk that we should be aware of in the coming period. The UN also expects that the UAE will witness a decrease in the future, reaching the fertility 1.23%, and which is a low number internationally, and it alerts the people. I will explain that later. The fertility is important for the decision makers, because the decision maker, when he takes a decision, he anticipates the increase of population. He looks at the fertility average because it is an important, and it is related to economy, which affects economy. It affects also the market, labor market, and it affects also all the life features in the UAE. So this average is very dangerous, and we need to consider it and review it seriously. Of course, in order to complete the topic and understand why the children retreat, this figure has a reverse relationship between the fertility rates and the born rates. The more fertility, the more children, the lower, and vice versa. In 1995, the fertility rate was 4.5%, and the average of newborn is 27 children for every 1,000, which is a big number. And the number started to retreat in 2005. The fertility reached to 2.8, and the newborn retreated to 15 newborn for every 1,000 people. In 2022, which has a type of decrease, a remarkable decrease, the average reached 15 or 1.5. Therefore, the newborn retreated to 10 newborn for every 1,000, which is a risky or very risky indicator, and we should consider it seriously. The diagram that is on the screen shows the number or the average of the newborn in the UAE, because there is a retreat or a decrease in the number of newborn. In 2015, it was around 35,000 registered, and we talk about 2022, we talk about 31,000 nearly of newborn people, which is a retreat in a short period of time in the number of newborn people. This is the case of the UAE and fertility and the marriage fertility in the UAE. These figures show that why the young do not want to get married. The UAE institution had a survey for the development and youth nurture in 2017 for the youth well-being through the cooperation with Dubai Economy and the UAE Youth and the Statistics, Federal Statistics Authority, and competition also. 6,600 men or boy and female participated, and they had more than 1,700 questions, and one of them is marriage. Let us see the results. regarding the survey for the development of children. 22% of 6,600 male and female, they say the reason of leaving the marriage is the high dowry, which is the impediment of the marriage, and the cost of life and housing, and the cost of wedding parties and so on, and the other requirements of marriage. Another survey done by the community development in 2011 and helps a lot to clarify the holistic overview or vision to understand better the reasons of the young people leaving the marriage. 2,462 boy and girl participated in the survey, and it took certain topics like why is marriage late in the community, what is the problem of costs and the factors that affect the marriage, and the results. According to the survey, 67.2 for the due to the high quality life, and we are on the same track. 66.1 talk about lack of housing, and it is important to look at this strictly in this survey about the negative image of the media about the marriage authority and men and women, which reached 40.33. So media, instead of supporting and encouraging the community to get married and coordinate with the country and the community, it gives negative messages about the marriage authority and the marriage, in addition to other topics with the personality of the person himself. Some people who, for example, study, or some people prevented by the country, and so on and so forth. But here, I would like to focus on the negative image delivered by the media in 2011. Why? We knew the issues and what the youth focus on. So why the question, why the married people do not get babies or newborn people? This is the question, because this is the most important thing from which the community will move. The idea is not the marriage, the idea is getting children. In a report done by the Mohammed bin Rashid Institution for Government Management, he touched the reasons for low fertility. There were 12 reasons for the retreat of the fertility. I chose 3 key reasons. The first one is the late marriage, as I explained before. There was a rise in the average of people who get married in the UAE. Number 2, the costs. The costs are an obstacle. Another one is the ladies join the labor market. Some people say that the women joining the labor market, they see that it forms an impediment or an obstacle in fertility or getting a newborn people in the UAE. And it is a recommendation we try to reach out in this topic. These are the reasons why the married people do not get a newborn. Let's look at the repercussions and the negative results of leaving the marriage or not wanting to get married. The key impact is an economic national impact. We talk about the economic repercussions that can destroy the economy of the countries, and we have good examples in the century 2021, like Japan. Its economy called the population contraction economy. The economy reached a fluctuation without going up or down. And this is due to the old age of married people and the number of the individuals who are the elderly people. the high number of the elderly people who cost the country a lot. Therefore, they prevent the development in the infrastructure and the investment and so on. The most dangerous thing is the youth people is the fuel of the country, is the drive of every country. Therefore, any country suffers from longevity or old people, they will have a low number of people who go to work or labor people and contribute to the GDP. Therefore, the number of the population will decrease and the labor will decrease in many sectors, like because they do not find the labor people to develop. The most dangerous is that it affects the consumption culture. There will be a contraction in the economy, no consumption. Why? Because the young people are known for dynamic and consumption. If the community is all most of the community is elder, it will affect the GDP in the countries that suffer from old people. A report by the International Bank talked about the countries that suffer from elderly or old age. They say that the economic impact of these countries who suffer from this one will reach 1.1 decrease of the GDP. This means that every country has -1% in the GDP. There are a lot of repercussions in the community. There, like for example, no young people will join the security or the army because from 19 to 31 will affect, for example, these sectors. More labor will come from the foreign countries also. Like, for example, in Germany and Italy, they will open for the door for labor, for foreign labor. And some of the studies focus on the relation between the population and the newborn people. The UAE solved certain problems by interventions, by reviewing inclusive revision to have an vision about the young people and the initiatives like the initiative of the marriage loan and a new authority establishment for the family in 2014 and integrated policies and the study of the indicators. And the country also, the UAE, has announced the 2026, the year of the family in the national agenda. In 2023, it was included in the agenda, like, for example, the programs, policies, and the health of getting newborns. And, like, for example, the rise of the newborn people and the rise of the young people who would like to get married. These recommendations and, like, for example, the change of the young relationship of the young between the young and the labor work, and giving the people who want to get married some loans, and there is a kind of flexibility in the labor market or in the places where they work, especially the ladies, and the community initiatives should be supported and enhanced, and partnership with the private sector, and the reforming of the marriage system using, for example, the media as a supportive tool instead of giving bad messages or negative message about the marriage. Following, for example, good behaviors about newborn, because it will change the image and makes, or the mind, and makes, increases maturity of the country, and this includes the family and the people who would like to get married, because the responsibility is not only the government. The government knew early the crisis and intervened and made a lot of efforts through the programs and the initiatives and the support, either the loans and so on, and passing the laws. Like, for example, the late Sheikh Zayed in 1997, he amended the law 21 in 1991 to limit the dowries not more than 50,000 dirhams, and the marriage of the days of the marriage should be 1 day and 9 camels, like, for example, for food, and enforce anyone who breaks this violation, this rule will pay 5,000 dirhams as a violation. And as Mr. Khalaf Ahmad Al Habtoor when he said, for example, the initiatives and the family authority. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you, Mr. Mustafa. What we have seen summarize a scene and the risks and the negative risk. For example, number one, in this presentation, there is a rise in the average of marriage from 29 for men and 26 for women, and the retreat in the fertility from 4.5 children in 1995 to 1.5 in 2022. And one of the key reasons, apart from the cost, that the young affected by the image of the marriage. Dr. Saif Al-Jabari, from a religious perspective, how do you balance between the authentic values and the change of lifestyles, and how can we combat the negative media and non-getting children? First of all, I appreciate and thank His Excellency Mr. Abu Rashid Khalaf Al Habtoor for this invitation, which enhances the UAE ideology about the family and the when the UAE announces the family year or the year of the family, as the researcher said, we have the outcomes or the findings of these results, that the UAE has its research or strategy from the deep researches, and it pointed to the year of the family. It was not an accidental logo or emblem, but it is a awareness and a message that reconsider the stability of a human, which is the family. The family, of course, is not only a social framework of individuals, but it is the first environment where the compassion and values and the security is boosted before any other form of security. The family itself is not a house where we live, but it is a space where we learn how to be secured, how to love, how to belong in it. It forms our first features and our dreams, and we feel for the first time that there is a place resembles us in our traditions and our customs. The family itself, from the perspective of the question, I will leave what I have written. I will talk from my mind. Our family, our UAE family, from our perspective, is, with my deep respect, the good things are on the way. The agility of thinking of our country and the flexibility of the provisions, renewable provisions, say that the coming indicator is far better than the present one. Through what the country enforced on us in the issue of marriage and forming a family, and we today, as consultants and as an official for marriage, I am the first one for the family reformation in 1995 when I was in the Islamic affairs. How we maintain the national integrity and cohesion in the UAE, and we succeeded in a good level. Otherwise, the cases are different, but the integration of our efforts between us as individuals and as a civil community from the in government entities and enriching the marriage fund, which made a big shift. Therefore, we today, the religious factor is number one in building the family. the religious factor, either the costs or the social life or other things. Because religion encourages you to reduce and the community seeks to form and building the family, as I always say, this citizen, it is not a palm that I planted, or it is not a rain. The citizen needs marriage, and marriage needs efforts. And these initiatives today, launched by the government, led by the civil community like Abu Rashid and other colleagues, they lead the community. This means we are on the good and the blessed track, and our strategy 2071 is auspicious, and the number will be doubled through the contract marriage or marriage contracts, and we ask the competent entities to support this project, and we will have another talk or further talk that align with this vision. Thank you, Mr. Doctor. Mr. Khalaf, I have a question to you. When you talk about the importance of marriage, you tell us about your experience. You got married early, and there was a direct impact by your family. What is the role of your family? The effect of the family to encourage people, how far do they affect the marriage and getting newborn people or newborn children? How does the family affect that from your experience? Marriage it is part of the religion, our religion, Islam. From the future of our country's security. My grandfather in Ashandaga, Ahlam bin Khalaf al he got married when he was 90 years old, and he got 3 newborn children. Maybe he was 95 when he got married, and he got 3 newborn children. I was a child then, and they are now big men. My mother forced me to get married, may Allah bless her soul, to get married my relative, and the marriage was successful and blessed. I cannot say more than that. I talked with Mr. Mustafa about the cost. I don't believe that this is the reason. Our country did not overlook. It supports our youth people a lot. It built, for example, houses. It gave them medication locally and abroad. It provided education inside and outside in the international universities. This is a priority. We should not talk about that. If this is the reason, I think this is not a reason in the country, in the UAE, because the UAE are able, and Khalaf Habtoor, we used to make enable 100 male and female, and we provide them with all facilities in our hotels, and we arrange their weddings. I really, not only the one, but there are other people who help people to get married. This is not the reason. I talk about the ladies who work from morning to evening. I am against that, really. I need the lady, even she works few hours, she should be at home taking care of the children, because she is the bless, she is the merit who raise her children who will be blessed in the future. And we need these things. We do not need the lady to go to work. We all are ready to support the lady to take care of her children. We do not need housemaid or nurse. No one can raise the child like the woman, the mother. We are ready. The government supports a lot, and it is our responsibility, it's our duty, because we are responsible of our country, our land, our families, to support them. So this is not a reason that the lady goes to work. She has no pretext if she works to not to get married. I have grandchildren. They are old. They do not want to get married. I don't want to shake hands with them. I don't want to see them. What can I do? Should I jail them? In my opinion, allow me, there should be punishment for the people who do not want to get married. I got married 17 years, when I was 17 years of age, because my mother wanted me, her relative, to help her, because she is her aunt. We used to eat the date with our camels in Ashandaka area. It was a blessed life under the family, because the family is a blessed fertility, and these things, as the doctor said, all these things can be amended when you live a peace of mind and you have security and safety, and you feel that many people support you from A to Z, and we all are ready to support our children from Fujairah or Ras Al Khaimah to Abu Dhabi. We are ready to support them. In addition to the country supports a lot. It gives houses and many things. There should be a law that forces to get married less than 20 years age, he and she. We need the marriage, the age of marriage was used to be 21, but it was updated to 18 now. But this is a good thing, but we need them to get married. What prevents them? The country provides and supports them with everything. The people of the UAE supports the people who get married, so they need to get married. And I think there should be a law enforced. If they do not get married, this means that they do not like their country, either he or she, if they do not get married. And we need people, we need children, we are ready to support them for a convenient life. What can we do more than this? Can we put them in jail? Nothing left except the jail. So what can we do with the young people? Or hit them? Thank you, Mr. Khalaf. My question to Mr. Ibrahim Tamimi, the lawyer, from your experience as a lawyer in the family status and affairs, one of the key factors of fertility is the continuity of marriage. Marriage formed, but we need to discuss the continuity or the success of this marriage. Are there any legal or social gaps that increase the fragility of the family bond? You are the only one who can give the secrets or the reasons of the unsuccessful marriage from your experience. I would like to thank you all. And I would like especially to thank my brother, Mr. Khalaf. But before discussing this matter, I would like to say something about His Excellency Khalaf. Why the family continues, why the family increases and grows according to the deal of the people in his house. As he said also, no one can take care of the children like the woman, and I confirm this continuously. We go and come back and work. I will talk about His Excellency. He is accustomed to go to the mosque for Al-Fajr prayer. After that, or his sons or children, they take breakfast with him. and they spend 1 hour or 2 hours with him. After that, he starts his sport. He plays tennis. You see, he is still young. And we love him a lot, and he is dear to us. I will talk now about the family. Unfortunately, some men, they do not respect the woman. The woman, if you remember the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, in his final or last sermon, what did he say about the woman? Unfortunately, some men consider the woman, if you get married to get this lady, she will be a slave to you. No, 1,000 times no. The woman should feel that she is a queen in her house. She should feel that she is dear and respected. She cooks and makes the chore of the house, but she is not here to serve me. I need also to serve her. I should not tell her to do everything or quarrel with him. How the family will continue under this condition? How the children will be good? I will tell you an incident, how the family, how the children will are raised by the family. One of my sons, he went to Carrefour and walking in front of someone who has long hair and who is feminist, she hit her child and his friend. If it were me, I could not do that. When they passed the law of personal status, the personal status or affairs vested me a lot, because I like a lot of economic and trade thing, but because of following the lady and the family status, this is good thing. The lady does everything at home, and the man comes back to home with bad dealing with her and with no morals. One of the things that he mentioned, the social media and the work of the woman, and many things that are that emerge now on the phone and the social media, I tell them that the woman or the man should see what the other party, for example, likes. I only like news. I don't like the football. So when I tell my mother, I might tell my wife, when you see the TV, open the TV on news, because she knows I like the news, and she likes the news like me. And the Turkish films like Muhannad or other things in the past, the men felt jealous, or the ladies felt jealous, why the woman likes Muhannad, for example, in the movie. If she likes Muhannad, for example, on TV, she will get married to her. Our mindset, we have to change it. You should say, oh, Muhannad is a handsome person. I remember one year, there was a newsreader on TV, Abu Dhabi TV, with a round face, and she was cute. When the children, when she goes on the TV, men stand before the TV and watch her. If they understand each other, there will be no problem, and the contradiction will lead to less newborns and maybe divorce. So they should understand each other. In the past, the marriage lasts, for example, to 40 or 50 years. Now, 2 or 3 years, and they get divorced. If the man, for example, goes back home, when he deals with the woman respectfully and they exchange their respect. We do not talk about the man. We talk about both of them. They should exchange respect and this reduces divorce. And the researcher says that the costs and the cost of life As you know, may Allah bless his soul, when the marriage fund was established, and Al-Bah, may Allah bless his soul, also was responsible for that. Everyone got 70,000. Many young people go and register in the marriage. The Friday or so serums, one of them about the marriage and the woman right and the man right. Today they say, for example, the woman should take care of the man. The next Friday, the opposite. This means that the country encourages getting a newborn, which will not come accidentally. But we, as His Excellency said, it is not a reason of strength. It comes by itself. For example, the woman does not, for example, wear good clothes or looks well for her husband. The man needs his wife to be beautiful and to be well dressed, and uses, for example, makeup in order to love her and get a newborn. The salaries and the cost of life play a role, really, and the taxes, and this is a policy of the country. We cannot say no, but the country should have a solution. And His Excellency Khalaf used to say or to talk about the students, school students, and the students comes back from the school exhausted. When he spent, for example, when he stays in the school, for example, at 4 or 5 o'clock. In the past, they used to finish school by 12 or 1. And he used to talk about this category and focuses on that. This is what I have, really. I wrote a lot about the topic, about the family, but you asked me, so I focused on this question and this answer. Thank you so much, Mr. Ibrahim, for this participation. We discuss a lot of topics from the perspective of research and legislations, and the family starts from personal experience. Therefore, we have some minutes from the young people, males and female, who have challenges from our reality on a daily basis. The voices not from outside the system, but from our system, individuals from our institutions and from our local community. I would like to call the guys from Al Habtoor group, males and females, UAE males and females, to tell us something about their experience. What encourages them or prevent them from marriage? I would like to call the colleagues from Al Habtoor group. We will start with Mr. Muhammad Mir, if you don't mind. Muhammad is one of the young men who would like to get married. We hope that he will share us his experience. First of all, in the name of Allah, the Commissioner, the Merciful, thank you, Abu Rashid, for this good initiative. We would like to thank Mr. Abu Rashid, His Excellency Khalaf Al Habtoor, for this good initiative and his support that reflects his keenness, continuous keenness to the good of the society and contributes to the strength of the community and the family. And His Excellency has a lot of initiatives for the community. Some of them are public and some of them are private for the group, to encourage us and to facilitate our journey to build a family. We hope that we are gathering here to have some findings and some outcomes. Mr. Muhammad, the challenges are there in the life, but we should be a lot of effort and go to the fore. Life is full of challenges, not only in marriage. We wish you all success, Mr. Muhammad. We have Hind and Naomi from the International Emirati School. Please tell us about your experience, Hind. Peace be upon you. Thanks a lot for this discussion with Abu Rashid. Ladies and gentlemen, from the perspective of the country, the national agenda hopes a well-being family for the citizens. I talk about as a mother and as a wife. I used to be a student and an employee. The roles gathered together, but the lifestyle of the family helped us a lot to go over these roles a lot. The existence of the father and the mother with the grandparents helps a lot. Because I was able to go or to the work and go abroad the country, and I was convenient. When I left my family and lived in another emirate, I felt the difference. If we go back to our country and see the big house or the extended family who gathers cousins and relatives and uncle together, we will be more secure. And the getting children needs work, and sustenance is yours, either you work or not. We hope that this national agenda will come to success and will show its fruitfulness. We have also Mr. Mohammed Blushi, our colleague, or Abdul Aziz Al Haj also. Peace be upon you. Thank you, my uncle, for this lecture. You are always supportive to the young and the community. I am 21 years old. I talk about the youth. Why the youth do not want to get married? Some problems are from the families. If I get engaged, the family refuses. Like, for example, tribal reasons or job reasons. I work in car lease. If I go and get engaged, people say that this is a car lease agent. How I make my daughter get married to this man? When I finished the military service, I applied to many entities, military and civil. No one accepted me. Then I went to diamond lease. I see some problems come from the families themselves in terms of the cost of life, dowries, and the job. Thank you. The people of the UAE worked many things, in many things. They worked as laborers in other cities. They worked many jobs, and this is not a shame, by the way. In the summer, when I was 14 years of age, I went to customs. I got 200 rupees a month. I learned young and old people who run the customs. I did not know Sheikh Rashid, may Allah bless his soul. Then I worked in American company to clean the floor. I refused that. It is a shame for us when I was 14 or 15 years. Some of the men refused that, but I accepted the job and I took the sweep and cleaned the floor. The good job should be proud of that, and the family should respect the person who does any job. You should select the job that appreciates the people who work 24 and who produces, and he gets his money in good ways. This person should be appreciated and should be respected and should marry their daughter, and the daughter should accept that. I always see the girls, they have good mindset and a bigger heart than the boys in kindness and ethics. They absorb that from their families and their community. Therefore, we should not keep this as an obstacle for getting married. The key reason is that we should or we must encourage the children to get married. If you do not get married, what do I need you to be? For example, a model or inventor for the nuclear, for example? I need to get you married. My girl, my children to get married. I don't want them to live together as, for example, brothers and sisters in the same area. This is not good. These matters, we should help in these matters in our thoughts, in our opinions, and encourage them to get married. Even in the mosques, we should talk about marriage and encourage the young to get married, and we are ready to support them. The government gives everything. I do not want to repeat. They give houses, medication, schools, education, and so on and so forth. So nothing left than punishment or beating. You should get married. We need any children to be born in the family. The girl also should be courageous to ask for marriage. It is not a shame, by the way. If the girl, for example, asks for marriage, we support her, we help her. We should change our mindset. The family is one. I asked my grandchild to get married to his cousin. He said, no, she is like my sister. Sorry for this word. It is important to reach a solution. You know more than us in the religious perspective or religious, and our grand teacher, Mr. Abu Khalifa. You know a lot more than me in these things, but we should have a law enforced by the government in such a way to enforce the children in certain age to get married. We should not give them a freedom. Marriage must be done. Full stop. I got married when I was 16, and it was a successful marriage, alhamdulillah. So the young men and ladies should get married if they like it or not like it. Thank you, Mr. Khalaf. Allow us, Mr. Khalaf. Thank you for this participation. If you allow us, we have some questions from the followers, from the live streaming. We will answer them. And we have intervention from Rashid Ahmed Al-Mansouri after answering this question. The first question says, we will ask Dr. Al-Jabri to answer this question. How do you read the role of media today, and can you believe that the romantic image or the exaggerated image of marriage contributes to retreat or mislead the reality? And what is the role of the community to correct this? Media, of course, unfortunately, changes the compass. We learned in the public communication in the university, when there is the spirit of education, that media gives the community what it needs, but what does not give it what it wants. The case is reversed. They give the community what it wants, not what they need. So the media should be like the mother who gives the baby milk She gives the baby milk, not Pepsi, or biscuits, crushed biscuits, or meat. Media today, unfortunately, particularly in the digital and AI era, destroys ethics and houses, and the country should put a limitation and a coverage and a blockade for many platforms and influencing platforms, because it has negative causes, like, for example, divorce. We as consultants for 40 years, the causes of divorce is from media, a lot of causes, because they are affected in the deviation of untruthful follow-up. So going back to shed light on the value of the family and the value of the father, the value of the man in the family. Everyone now criticizes the man. We don't need the father or the man. How can we get the family and babies? How the woman gets pregnant? So we say that the negative role of the media is large. Why? Because media is in the hand of the person who does not have the skills of the family or not married, and he likes the life as he likes. So we reiterate and we require the media should be constructive and purposeful. Even the series on the TV, they have a lot of problems. So the producers and the directors and the scenarists should strengthen the bonds of the family and love to the family. The second question, as it is, I think it is a complementary to the question. I would like Sheikha to answer the question. The question is how the people can raise their children open to the world, but at the same time boosted to their identity and religion and culture. The stereotype of the man or the young man, the man, we used to say that the one who is 20 to 25 is still young now for marriage. The fact is that media and people, when they raise the child, when they should say to him, when you are 16, you become a man. There is nothing called you are still young. When you reach 16, you are a man. This is one part. The second part is the woman, the wife. The stereotype of the wife for the lady or the young man, he said that it is an addition, aesthetic addition to life. It is not the end of your life when you get married. No. And when you get responsibility, but it is a good and a beautiful addition and adds a value to your life. The third part, which we touched from the social survey and social studies, the stereotype of the woman who does not work, the woman who raises her children, she makes generations. She is the blessed woman, as Abu Rashid said. She raises and makes men of tomorrow. She makes a country. So the stereotype we should work on the stereotype so that we will raise our children and tell them that marriage is a duty and not a well-being, and responsibility is a good thing from Allah, and the family is a blessed thing and not negative thing. What we conclude from the talk, Doctor and all the participants here, it is our duty to establish and create programs that address the families who raise these children to understand the value of the family and encourage them to make families and get married. We have an intervention from Rashid Ahmad Al Mansouri from Dubai University. In the name of Allah, the Merciful, first of all, I would like to thank His Excellency Khalaf Al Habtoor for his continued support in the community under this wise leadership. I am Rashid Ahmed Al Mansouri. Rashid, today we as Emirate youth, we are ambitious and wish to get married, but there are obstacles and difficulties. If they are solved, I am ready to get married tomorrow. In order to get married, they ask for example a certificate. Why? Because when the child gets 18, he has military service. When I finish, I get 19. If I go look for a job, we thank the support of the leadership. But when can I have 9 to 12,000 dirhams as a salary? I cannot afford the cost of the marriage. So I need a certificate to increase my salary. The lands receipt, it was from 21 now 23. How can I get married while I don't have a house? So the people do not agree, and I have to wait until I reach 23. When I tell my family I want to get married, they say it is a big responsibility and your job is not stable and you don't have a house. When I say them it is a completion of half the religion and an open for the good life, they say you are not prepared well to get married now. Our families support us, and as a young and mature person, for how long should I depend on my family? In addition to that, some people do not have father and mother to support them, and in these steps, they don't have parents to support them in these steps, unfortunately. The job, it is not a reason. We lived in tents. I lived in a tent in a shandaga, flooded by water, with water. And we lived with my parents and my sister and my brother in one tent. I got married and I lived in another tent. We used to eat half of the dates and the other half for the camels. This is not a reason. You work, and this is an honor, even though the salary is low. Our men did not go to universities or Harvard. They themselves established this country. They were smart leaders. They learned from the desert, from the sea. They led this country by a strong will. They discussed a lot of topics and ended up with results. At that time, the same like this time, the ladies or the girls are blessed. They cooperate with the man and they ease life if he has care in everything. In my opinion, if you would like to get married, everyone can, and the country can support him. The topic of certificates, the people who established Dubai did not have certificates. The old people who established the UAE and who managed the UAE, they did not have certificates. They used to study until 12 in a Sha'b school, and 12:30 go back home. And we learned and we benefited, and we learned in the councils of men. We learned from the horses, from the sea, from the camels. So these are very important, and work in everything is not a shame. You should be proud of that, so long it is good. I believe also that our country supports a lot. I said that many times. What do you want? We can do that. But we need you to get married. And we need you to increase the population of the UAE by getting more children and the newborns. That's right, Mr. Khalaf. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. We thank also, or we welcome Dr. Muhammad Ibrahim Al-Farisi, the first senior researcher in the family affairs. You have an intervention, Dr. Muhammad. In the name of Allah, the Merciful, thank you, Mr. Abu Rashid. And this is your custom in caring about the community and the people. Thank you so much for your support. What I can see from your interventions and the others and the presentation, which is a good study by the Al Habtoor Center, if the man wants to get married, he will get married. No challenges, no obstacles prevent him. The question is, does he need or not? There is a change in the internal awareness for the young people, including the negative awareness goes to the ZG and Alpha generation. I think what is required is forming what is called in the research centers the public opinion, to reform the public opinion and change the stereotype of thinking towards family and marriage. When I talk now, when my brother talk, the university student, when he talked about the house and many things, we have a problem how the family looks at the marriage. They say, we can get you married, but you need to do so and so and so. So the family sometimes is an impediment, an obstacle. So we need to change the awareness and improve the awareness and update the public opinion. Like people in the past, people did not have a house. He used to live with his family, the extended family. The people are the incubator for this marriage and the supporter. And this opinion changes due to the media, which plays a vital role by delivering, for example, unfortunately, negative images. So this should be changed. There is an old study in 2017 about the extended families in the UAE. The study ended up with the finding that 50% of divorce in the UAE is intervention of the families, the parents, I mean. Instead of the family being an incubator, the extended family could be a problem. So where is maturity and awareness? These are cases, and we ask Allah to guide us to success. And thank you once again for this big value that you carry and your endeavor. Thank you so much. Thank you, Doctor, for your intervention. Another intervention from a guest also. That I am sorry, I cannot hear the speaker. The translator cannot hear the speaker. This is poetic lines to praise Mr. Khalaf Al Habtoor. So the poet is praising Mr. Abu Rashid Al Habtoor. Thank you for this poem and the nice words. We have a final intervention from the audience. Peace be upon you. Today I will talk about some points. First, introduce Muhammad Madhani. I will talk about some notes. First of all, we should not deny our wise leader and government to contribute in enabling the marriage and building the family. There are 3 points I will touch on. First of all, thinking. Today, youth people thinking is different. The man, for example, says marriage is a duty, but they force me to get married and I will not get married. This is a thinking. Also, the lady says, when I get married, I need a wedding in a certain, for example, hall or hotel, and I need a good number. So today, people post before people in their wedding. This constitutes a big obstacle. The man, he wants to get married, and the lady wants requirements, fictional or big requirements, and he cannot do that because he is forced not to do that or cannot do that. This is one thing. Our role is to raise awareness. We should raise awareness. This is not a duty. You should teach yourself. You are before us. You are our leaders. You are our fathers. We take you as examples. We take you as examples, and you increase this as that marriage is not a duty. We get married to build a future family. Also, another point, the inflation, economic inflation also is remarkable. With the development in the country, the economic inflation increased. We say that the UAE government did not spare an effort to support us, but the salaries do not go in line with the inflation. Like, for example, the inflation rose 10 times, the salary doubled only, and this constitutes a double. When I get married, for example, there are a lot of expenses. This affects the getting children. I will get only one because I will be able to raise him up, but 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, cannot. And I put myself to be on the brink of bankruptcy. I cannot afford them everything. I cannot afford them a standard or a decent life or standards of living. The vacancies also, with the increase of the people, there are a lot of vacancies. The third point, I am 20 years old. If I want to get a land, I should be 23. I, for example, ask for hand a lady from her family. They say, no, because you don't have a house, you don't have a land, how can you get married? If she is a relative, I will tell them I will get married and they will give me the land. But if I go to another one away from my family, they say, we need a house, we need a land to get you married to our lady. This is what I have in my intervention. Thank you so much for your intervention. It is beautiful to see this level of awareness among the youth people. Mr. Khalaf, do you have any addition before closing our session today? This young man speaks clearly. We used to live by looking to marriage. If we see marriage symbol, Allah facilitates it, but if He makes it difficult, it will be difficult. If you get married, you can live with your family, your parents. You can live with her family until things go good. It is not necessary to take your house by yourself. We used to live and we got our children while living with our parents in small rooms. So this is not a reason, by the way. If we determine to get married and depend on Allah, everything will be affordable and everyone in the country will support you, like the government and us. More than explanation, we cannot do, really. We need you to get married willingly, not by force, but I need also the lady, the girl, should ask for marriage. Not only the boy, we focus on the boy. No, we focus also on the girls. They should ask for marriage. In our traditions, it is not good for the girl to ask for marriage, but no, she should ask. If the man can get married to 3 or 4, he can, no problem, because it is in our religion. It is not forbidden. It is his right. Of course, the lady said how the government, as Abu Rashid says, how the government facilitates marriage. In Dubai, I think Sheikh Hind created a program, and in Abu Dhabi also, we have Mudim. I married 2 of my sons through Mudim. Instead of renting a hall, they afforded you a hall with low cost, and they give you a rent for 2 years. They pay 70,000 years for every year for housing and other costs. They try to reduce the costs or the expenses for the men in order to help them to get married. So our government support them. Mudim is there in Abu Dhabi, and everyone knows it. And in Dubai here, Sheikh Hind program also, and Dubai weddings also. I would like to point that we are here. The family is not a social supportant, but it is the cornerstone for the national security and the social stability. The family is the incubator for the ID and values. It is the first school where the individual loves to respect the law and commit to the religious and ethics. Boosting these values will reduce later the deviation, crime, and extremism in thoughts. People who became extremists we are a cohesive country. We know everything. The role of the family to protect the people from crime and extremism, because the crime does not help the people to get married. Violence and joining the extremist groups, the family, the good family, controls the behavior, discovers the deviation early, tackles problems before exacerbation. This reduces the burden of judicial and security apparatuses. Instead of following the children in the cases or problems, I, as a family, know how to raise my children and keep them away from these bad things. The society gives the social support and balance, and the balanced person is more productive, less violent, more able to live with others. Social stability starts with the family stability. The family and the human resources and the good family raises good and educated children, encourages work and production. In general, or in summary, these things, you focused on marriage and fertility. We need to focus on the society, how to create these people, how to make them get older. If the family does not take care of the children, this will go to drugs, this will be deviated, this will be criminal, and so on and so forth. How they will get married? If they are corrupted, they will not get married. So the drugs today are very easy, but alhamdulillah, thanks God, the country has a law against the dealers, even 10 milligrams, they will be sentenced to life prison. These things they commit is the cause of the young children to not to get married and form a family. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Ibrahim.
لو سمحتوا مايكروفون. تفضل.
السلام عليكم.
Peace be on you. Peace be upon you. Lawyer Al Masuri. A marriage is a merit, a blessing. Before choosing the lady, if you have a good choice, you will live a happy life. If you select the lady, you will have bad results. So I advise all the people who would like to get married should not wait until he finishes university or work or, for example, get a high salary. No, you should endeavor and Allah will facilitate your marriage. And this is my mission to the, message to the children, to the people or the young people who would like to get married. Another final intervention, please. I would like to thank and appreciate this session and our role as writers and consultants. Read and look. Therefore, when the family or the community year, I started to think of integrated system. I did not think that this is a family year. So I changed this title, my family, from choice to stability. So I changed the title and took care to be the early production with the strategic partners from the ministry, family, and the community development, so that we can feed the community with the meetings and lectures and symposia. I, as Saif Al-Jabri, the community, say that the community, I offer this book and present lectures at the level of the UAE or the country in cooperation with the development authority, the community development authority, to be part of the community and pave the way to the generations, to encourage them to get married. As our Rashid said, it should not be force, but it should be enablement, and we should be the curators of the virtue and continued supporters of the young men. We in the schools and the universities, we should, as an academic teacher, we should visit the communities, and I ask the formal entities to go to universities and focus on the students and hold symposia. We do not ask for interfering in the curriculum, but they should deliver, for example, cultural lectures to support the directions of the government through our culture, studies, and books. And as a citizen, I am proactive to this system from these symposia and lectures in cooperation with the competent entities, and I appreciate this opportunity to be present all the time. Thank you, Doctor, for your... we will take the last intervention and we will conclude our session. Short intervention, please. Peace be upon you. I am Dr. Muhammad and Dr. Saif Al-Jabri. I have a simple thing for the young people. Advice for the, as Abu Rashid said, have intention and depend on Allah. During the college, 6 officers got married. Now they are grandfathers. So the money was not an obstacle. So people should depend on Allah, and Allah will facilitate We are living with our extended family. The country afforded a lot of things. The marriage fund used to be 70,000. The initiatives today are totally different. And you, our brother, you should depend on Allah and have a good will and intention. One of daughter of Abu Rashid Hadir, he got married to a simple soldier without a high rank. Allah and the Prophet Muhammad recommended religion and ethics, and marriage will not be an obstacle in your life. So depend on Allah and have good faith in Allah, and Allah will facilitate. Allah said it is one of the verses that He created marriage or wives and husbands from yourselves. And one of the British provisions, it is said marriage is a contract and it is a pledge in its depth. The question is, do we raise our children to the contract or teach them the pledge? We have ended up our session, but the dialogue will start after this session, after we will leave this hall and enter our houses and think of what we have listened now. We should not, we are not required to agree or get worried about the numbers, but we should work from the family. You said that the family is the support and the merit of life and the bliss of life. If we regain these meanings in the awareness of the decisions and the children and the decisions of our cities, we will be able to start a wave towards a cohesive and encourage and healthy community. On behalf of Mr. Khalaf, we thank all the guests. We thank you being us and your questions and your awareness, and we hope to meet with another talk, humanitarian like the family. Thank you so much for listening and participation. Have a good evening.